with your girl, Ayodele.
I am here in line with my promise that I will be here on the 16th of October.
Take it easy, I'm still greeting people.
I have led Ekiti, and the best I could give, I've given.
Anyway, for those of you that are not from Nigeria, when you're invited by EFCC for interrogation, it means you have been accused of stealing money. In the case of the former governor Ayodele Fayose, he was accused of stealing 1.3 billion naira. That is about $3.5 million. Now, before we move on, can we put some respect on Governor Fayose's t-shirts? As in, respect. The man no send. EFCC, here I am. As expected, he was accompanied by big people, you know. Governor Wike was there. Chief Femi Fani-Kayode was there. I mean, look at all the crowd that went with my uncle for interrogation. I love the fact that some of them came with their own t-shirts. I mean, look at this one. Fayose, the conscience of Nigeria. That is in case EFCC didn't realize that they were arresting the conscience of Nigeria. I feel bad though for the guy in the white t-shirt because it was a very good quote, except for the fact that they gave him the wrong size. I mean, look, the thing was really tight in his stomach. Personally, I think they did it on purpose. If I were you, my brother, I would collect my money back. You know, do well. Solidarity forever.
Fayose,
is popular. And you see why some people followed him to EFCC. The women choir in Ekiti State was singing his praise. Anyway, after all the Tererai call, they detained the man. The man was detained by EFCC. In fact, they secured a court order to detain him for 2 weeks. And speaking of EFCC, when will they invite the governor of Kano State, who was caught on camera allegedly collecting bribe from a contractor? Father. Hey, Father Lord Almighty. You see what I'm saying? Eh? Oh, by the way, the man said that was not him, that he was cloned in the video. Let me see the clone one more time. I mean, sorry, sir. The clone. Let me see the clone one more time. Anyway, allegedly, the man collects between 15 to 25% kickbacks from every single project executed in his state. So they said they've been trying to catch him in action for the past 2 years. Report says that the man was collecting $5 million in this particular video. There is no way for me to verify that amount, but you know, that is 1.8 billion naira. Some are saying that nothing would happen to him anyway because he's a member of APC, that is a Buhari's party. You see why it's not good to be selective in your fight against corruption, Mr. President? Well, others are defending the man, saying we don't know whether it was a bribe or not, or somebody was just giving him money. I said, Nigerians, you know, we see a governor collecting huge amount of money in dollar notes, not even naira, putting it inside his agbada, his sokoto, inside large envelope. Who walks around with such huge amount of money in naira, not to talk about dollars? I mean, seriously. What happened to bank transaction? The man is a governor. You think he doesn't know about bank transaction? These governors get 200 million naira every month as security votes, by the way, and that is $550,000 every month, besides their salary and allowances. Yet it's not enough. And yes, the person giving the money should also be probed, and all the contractors that have paid their own 15, 20%, 25%, because this is why sometimes they will build us roads and the roads won't last. All government projects in Nigeria, they don't last because the contractors don't spend all the money they were supposed to spend on the project. They would bribe the politicians before they take their own share. By the end of the day, maybe they are spending 10% of what they're supposed to spend on building our roads. Now to the main issue of the day. Please move closer. Boko Haram killed another aid worker in Borno State, 24-year-old midwife Hawa Mohammed Lima. woman. She was kidnapped along with 2 other midwives, that is Saifura Ahmed and Alice Ngada. Boko Haram gave conditions to the government, threatening to kill these ladies if those conditions are not met. And on the 18th of September, 25-year-old Saifura Ahmed was executed. The government had 6 months to save Saifura, but she wasn't saved, and of course, the president released a tweet with his condolence message. I was so sure that after seeing that Boko Haram wasn't kidding about killing these women, that they would do everything they could to save the rest. But a month later, they executed Hawa. And this time around, the president called her father to express his condolences, saying that they did everything they could to save her life. Is it just me, or do you think Nigerian government is very good in expressing condolences instead of preventing the death of innocent people? Somebody was kidnapped since March 1st, 7 months. Did you really do all that you could do to save her life? Because it looks like you are more concerned about the election. It was after these ladies were kidnapped that you sent 30,000 soldiers and policemen to Ekiti during the election. You also sent 70,000 policemen and soldiers to Osun State. Seriously, Oga Buhari, if you tell us that you did everything to win or rig those elections, we would believe you. You were very desperate and we could see it. So if you wouldn't give Boko Haram what they demanded for 7 months, did you send 70,000 soldiers to rescue these ladies, to organize a rescue effort before telling us that you did everything that you could? If these were daughters of politicians, if one of them were to be Buhari's daughter, do you really think Buhari would say, well, we did everything we could? Seriously, do you think he would? Because I know that some of you would defend him in the comment. It's okay, it's not your fault, because none of these ladies are related to you. This is not your girlfriend, this is not your sister, this is not your daughter, this is not your wife or your mom or anybody close to you. So it's okay, you can write whatever you want to write. But after you defend the government in the comment section, if you're ever kidnapped or somebody close to you is ever kidnapped and nobody comes for you, please do not be disappointed. You think he would say he did everything if that was his daughter? I feel like whenever it's like big number, they will do something because they want to look good to the outside world. But when it's like 1 person, 2 people, they don't really care. And this is not an isolated case. Security has not been a priority for this government at all. They do the same thing each time herdsmen kill people. You release your condolence message, but you refuse to stop them. In fact, many Nigerians have been saying that if these girls were to be cows, Buhari would have made sure that they are rescued, because we now have a government that values the life of a cow over the life of human beings. And it's not just Buhari, all our politicians, all the governors, senators, they don't care about common people. For 7 good months, not one of them protested on behalf of any of these ladies. They didn't shut down the Senate once for these victims. Maybe we saw them protesting the Osun election. Obviously, that is what is important to them. All those people on the truck that day, if any of their children were to be kidnapped by Boko Haram, do you really think the Senate would have regular meetings as usual? This is the same Boko Haram that Buhari has announced several times that he has defeated, calling the father to express condolences. How many times did you call the father in the last 7 months that the girl was kidnapped? If really you are doing all that you can, Oga Buhari, we have another worker left, as well as Leah, one of the Dapchi girls that was kidnapped since February. 8 months. Boko Haram said that they are keeping this girl Leah just because she's a Christian and she won't renounce her faith. And you know about this. For real, Oga Buhari, why can't you for once pretend that one of these girls is your daughter? Because we know what you would do if this were to be your daughter. So are you really doing all that you can to bring them back home, or you are just preparing another condolence message? I'm really tired of this hypocrisy. Let's move on to the next story. By now, you must have seen pictures and videos. Ladies and gentlemen, Biafran leader Nnamdi Kanu is alive and well, and he has resurfaced. Praise the Lord.
I believe people must have heard that the great earthquake, yes, the Omahedike one,
yes,
the great Mazi Nnamdi Kanu,
yeah, yes,
has surfaced.
yes, yes.
So what is your take?
It's like an earthquake in Nigeria. Everywhere is shaking. Yeah. The zoo government. Yeah. Everybody, they are all shaking.
Yes. You don't mean it. On October 19th, the Biafrans had a live video of him praying in Jerusalem.
This is the supreme leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, the prophet of our time, Nnamdi Kanu, and the holy city of David.
And on Sunday, he addressed Biafrans from Jerusalem.
We have come to restore Biafra, or we die restoring Biafra. This very administration of Buhari, run by Jibril, decided to send killers into our land to kill me, my father, my mother, and my siblings. They stormed into my house, and I sustained very severe injuries. They know if I go to court, that very country will no longer be the same again. They even killed Jack, our dog. They killed my cousin and 28 others. No mortal flesh can kill me. They've not given birth to that very person, but I shall return, I assure you. They know I'm not afraid of them and can never be.
The man finally explained where he has been.
My unavailability was not voluntary, but was forced upon me. The notion that I jumped bail is a fallacy, a lie, and a deceit. I am a Biafran, and I hold British citizenship. I have returned full time, and I am coming back, and I will bring hell with me.
Okay, I have a wonderful relationship with my Biafran brothers and sisters, so there's nothing I say that goes well. So in this situation, I would rather not say anything. I just want to know what you guys think. But personally, I'm just very happy and very glad that the man is alive, that he wasn't killed, as some people have been reporting. Thank God that he's alive and well. You guys don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Moving on to Ethiopia, have you heard the good news?
Ethiopia's Prime Minister has only been in the job since April, but he's taken the country through a number of reforms. He's downsized the number of ministerial positions in his cabinet to 20, but he's put more women in posts, making up now 50% of the cabinet being women.
Yeah! 50% of ministers in Ethiopia are now women. Yeah!
For the first time in the country's history, half of the members are women.
You see what I'm saying? And not just square positions. So, Minister of Defense is a woman. Minister of Transportation is a woman. As in, the man is walking the talk. He's including everybody.
We want to guarantee at all levels the participation of women.
The Prime Minister, however, warned that he will not tolerate ill performance and corruption by any of his ministers.
Women make like half of the population, so it's just common sense to have them equally represented in government. Unlike in some places, you know. Imagine, we have 109 lawmakers, only 7 are women. Father, the man has been doing wonders. Ethiopians, let's just borrow him for one day. One day, let's borrow him now. I heard that he came to DC, by the way, Washington, DC. And more than 30,000 Ethiopians gathered to meet with their new leader.
Ethiopia's Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed visited the nation's capital and addressed tens of thousands of people Saturday, extending a message of unity.
I see a different future from Ethiopia than I ever have.
We all are one. We are together now.
He's changing everything. He's recording every record. He's moving like a speed of light.
The impossible thing become possible.
Wow. You see? Ethiopians, and I have a lot of Ethiopian friends, so I was hoping that by now you would have adopted your girl. Adopt me now. Anyway, for the first time in a long time, Ethiopians and Eritreans all celebrated their new year together. You know that they have their own new year. It was celebrated in September, and this time around, they celebrated together like one country, like one family, right at the border where the soldiers from both sides have been killing each other. In fact, the Prime Minister himself went to the border to celebrate with everybody. So the same border where they were killing each other became their place of reunion. See, this is how we'll be looking as Ethiopians will be going off like this. Nigerian government, don't get yourself together. I'm very happy for you, by the way, Ethiopians. Please, I'm not an enemy of progress. It's just that I wish Nigeria can also have some. Baba, remember us for good. Now, the best part is that everyone that has been in exile for years is now able to go back home to Ethiopia, to Eritrea. Congratulations, my Ethiopian people and my Eritrean people. You guys don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. And speaking of women, I cannot end this episode without sharing the inspiring story of Tererai Trent. She was born in a Zimbabwean village in 1965, and her father believed that there is no need to educate girls. They are to be married off and have children.
In my village, girls have no hopes. Only boys have the opportunity to go to school.
So he sent her brother to school and refused to allow her to go to school, but she wanted education. So she taught herself how to read and write using her brother's textbooks.
This is where my brother went to school, and this is the place that I have always wanted to be when I was young. And I would always cry and say, Papa, why don't you just allow me to go just for one day? I just wanted to sit on a desk and, raise my hand and say something.
Now, very soon, she was doing her brother's homework for him. Can you imagine? The problem was the brother wasn't doing so well in class, but his homework was always on point. So the teacher was confused. You're not doing so well in class, but your homework is well done. Who is really doing your homework?
I was desperate to learn. I was secretly doing my brother's homework.
And that was how the teacher found out that it was Tererai that was doing his homework for him. So he begged her father to allow her to come to school, and after some time he agreed for 2 terms, just 2 terms. As soon as she turned 11, the father married her off in exchange for a cow. So by the time Tererai was 18 years old, she was already a mother of 4 children. One of them died. She was still a child herself, 18. And then her husband found out that she wanted education so bad, so he became abusive. He was beating her because she wanted education.
My husband realized that I wanted to have an education. He would beat me. I have nightmares of that time of my life.
It's very important who you marry, my people, because your partner can make you or break you. Please, my African people, don't fall for, oh, I had a vision, God said that you are to be my wife or you are to be my husband. But did he speak to you about that person? I'm not saying that God doesn't speak, I'm a believer. Please be realistic. Don't over-spiritualize this matter. If you have dreams and visions for your life and you know this is what God wants you to do, is it in line with what that other person is saying? Also, if you don't have a say in your relationship while you're dating, if the other person is always the one making all the decisions, don't expect that to change when you get married and then you're surprised that you don't have a say in your home. So be very careful who you get married to. Back to our story. In 1991, a woman named Jo Locke from Haifa International in the US visited her village in Zimbabwe, and she asked every woman about their dreams.
She turned around and she looked at me and she said, young woman, why are you quiet? What are your dreams? I said, I want to go to America. I want to have an undergraduate. I want to have a master's. I want to have a Ph.D.
She wanted to go to America, get her bachelor's, master's, and Ph.D. further. Now, this was a woman married off at the age of 11. By this time that the woman came to her village, she was in her 20s and she already has 5 children. For a lot of people, that's enough reason to give up on their dreams. So maybe your matter is not as bad as this, but that woman looked at her and told her that your dreams are possible, and she believed her.
Then my mother said, write those dreams down on paper and bury them. And if you truly believe in those dreams, then you'll see them grow and grow and grow. And if you achieve these dreams, not only are you defining who you are as a woman, you're also defining every life that comes out of your womb and generations to come.
See, that's the very first thing you have to do. Many of you are yet to write down your dreams. You need to make it clear, not just in your head, but put it down. This is what I want my life to look like. And it's never too late. You're never too old or too young to dream and go after your dreams. Second of all, it's easy to dream, but how bad do you want it? You know, it took this woman 8 years after writing her dreams. It took her 8 years for her to get her GED. That is the equivalent of SSC in Nigeria, like high school diploma.
It would take me 8 years. 8 years to achieve my GED.
Remember, she was no longer in school and she was raising 4 children. Also, her husband didn't want her to get educated. So when everybody was sleeping at night, that's when she would teach herself math and English using candles. She wrote the high school exam after some years and she failed. Guess what? She wrote it again. She failed again.
And I would try to find money to repeat those classes again, and it would take me another 2 years to do that and write the exams.
It took her 3 times before she passed. 8 years. 8 years, and she did not give up. You know why?
Weren't discouraged?
No, I wasn't, because I knew I wanted to break that cycle, that vicious cycle of generational poverty, of early marriages.
Wow. That's why I said, how bad do you want it? What is your reason? Some of you have similar dreams, by the way. Sorry to digress. Some of you have similar dreams like this woman. You want to study abroad. I don't know if it's America, Australia, Canada, wherever. But because you've been denied admission admission twice, you gave up. Or you were denied visa 3 times, you gave up. I know we are not talking about me, we're talking about Tererai, but just to encourage somebody today, when I wanted to go to college in the US, my brother and I, we were denied visa for 3 years, and we went twice each year. Many of my friends had started school, and I was learning how to sew. To make matters worse, the shop where I was learning tailoring was so close to the university bus stop. For real, I'm not making this up. So when I'm going to the tailor shop, in the morning, sometimes I will see some of my secondary school friends going to the university, and some of them were confused, like, Adiola, what happened to you? You were very bright. But I didn't tell them what we were working on, and that's another thing. You don't have to tell everybody about your dreams. Although by the second year, I did IJMB. By the third year, I had also enrolled in a university back home. But then I got my visa and I came to the US. I started college all over, and I'm grateful to God. By the way, some people had to wait 4 years, 5 years. If some people should share their story with you, you'll be amazed. As for this woman, it took her 8 years to get her GED, just the GED, and she didn't give up. So don't give up. You have to be hungry for what you are going after.
There is the little hunger. The little hunger is all about immediate gratification. But the great hunger is the greatest of all hungers. It is the hunger to change your own life.
How hungry are you for change? How desperate are you to make sure that your children don't go through the same cycle that you went through? If you're serious about studying abroad, do you have a passport? What research have you done? Have you applied to any school? Do you know about all the exams you have to take to go abroad? I'm just saying, some people are not practical. So 8 years after, she got her GED, and she also got accepted into a college in the US, and she moved her family to Oklahoma. She came with her husband and her children. As you guys know, school is very expensive in America. She was working 4 different jobs in order to take care of her family while studying full-time. 4 jobs. And then she would search for food inside trash cans of grocery stores, and she was living in a trailer with her family. Yet she completed her degree in agricultural education in 3 years. Usually it takes 4 years for a lot of people. But then her husband became jealous of her that now she has a degree, and so he intensified the beatings. After some time, the school found out what was happening in her home, how she was being abused, and they reported to the police. And guess what? Her husband was deported to Zimbabwe. So she was left with her children. 2 years after, she got her master's degree and she remarried. Now this time around, she married a man that believed in her dreams, okay? It took her 6 more years after that. But in 2009, she earned her doctorate degree from Western Michigan University. Amen, somebody! You see what has her dreams came to pass.
And it took me 20 years.
20 years,
from the day
but you never...
I buried my dreams to the day I got my Ph.D.
And you know the amazing thing, each time she achieved a dream, she would travel to Zimbabwe, dig up the tin with her dream, and she would check off that dream and put it back. After her PhD, she wanted to make a difference in her community by building a school in her country and also renovating the one that her brother attended so that more girls could go to school. So she started selling t-shirts to raise money. But guess what? She only sold 20 t-shirts. But when you truly want to make a difference in other people's lives, somehow God makes a way where there is no way, when you have the right mind. I don't know how Oprah Winfrey found out about her story, but guess what? She invited her on her show.
I feel I need to give back. I need to build a school in my village.
Now, guess what Oprah did?
The buildings are literally falling apart, and most of the classrooms don't have desks, so the students do all their reading and writing on the floor, and the teachers have no supplies. And for that reason, I am going to help you rebuild your school. I'm donating $1.5 million. Yes. I'm donating $1.5 million.
Oh my God, I need tissue. I'm not supposed to cry on my own set. Did you see her reaction? Like, she never knew she could come to a place like that. It took 20 years, but someone finally invested in her dream. $1.5 million, people! But that's how it works. Sometimes you would work so hard for years and it would look like you're invincible. But one day somebody will come along to invest in your dreams, so you cannot give up yet. Of course, she renovated that school in her village.
The school was completed in 2014. Oh my goodness, we have 1,200 kids attending school. You find parents, you find community. They are cleaning the windows. They are making sure that the kids have a safe environment.
But not just that, she has built 11 more schools in Zimbabwe. And because of her, 6,000 children have received great education. And because of her story, a lot of adults in her village have also decided to learn how to read and write. Today, she's a professor here in the US. She's also a researcher on HIV/AIDS. She has won several awards. She's an inspirational speaker. She's a humanitarian. She's a scholar. She's a motivational speaker. She travels the world inspiring people. She's a woman of faith. And of course, she's an inspiration for everyone of us. But you know, if she had given up when things were tight, you know, we would not be talking about her today. So don't give up now. Not just that, those 6,000 children attending schools that she built, you know, they may never have education. So pursuing the dreams that God put in your mind is not just about you. It's so that you could lift others up. If you can make it, think of the people that you can help. Above all, she wouldn't have broken the cycle of poverty in her family. She said one thing, that if she hadn't gotten education, that her daughters would have been married off like she was.
Remember, my great-grandmother, my mother, and my grandmother and me were all both married and exchanged for a cow. And I didn't want to see that for my daughters. That alone encouraged me never to give up.
Well, her decision impacted the course of their lives.
I have a daughter. She's at Western Michigan University. She's doing biomedical degree. I have another son, and he's doing biology and music. And to think that I get to see the results of my believing in my own lifetime. What else can I ask for?
So whatever decision you make, it would impact the course of the generation coming after you. I really hope that she inspires you today to make your time on earth count. Today she is known as Dr. Tererai Trent. So I like to close this story with the words of Dr. Tererai Trent.
I am a dreamer. I create my own destiny. I am the master of my own future. I refuse to let the past define who I am. I refuse to let the present challenges define my future.
Yeah, you guys now don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Before I sign out, a huge thanks to every one of you for donating towards the treatment of this lady that I featured in my last episode who has kidney disease. Honestly, I don't know how to thank you guys. Her father confirmed that you've donated more than 2.5 million naira. That is more than $6,700. Thank you so much. Honestly, you guys, you touched my heart because I know you have your own needs, yet you decided to meet someone else's needs. Thank you so much. Also, I spoke with one of Kawa Foundation's board member at UCH Ibadan, Dr. Sesan Oluwashola, and he confirmed that UCH is able to do the surgery for this lady, and they are able to do it for 6 million naira. That is $16,500 instead of the 10 million naira that another hospital told them. 10 million naira is like 27,500. So we've been able to reduce it by about $9,000. So if anybody would still like to donate towards the surgery, please, this is the account information. They are extremely grateful. It's like out of nowhere, help came. We are no longer trying to raise 10 million because we found a place where they can do it for 6 million. If you're living in the US, you can also donate towards this. I've told you guys that you can use Wave to send money directly to a Nigerian bank account. So you can send directly to her bank account or her dad's bank account. Please download Wave. It's an app that you can use to send money on your phone to Nigeria, Ghana, Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda for free. No transaction fee. And they get the money within 5 minutes. And if this is your first time of trying Wave, please remember to put my name as the promo code so that you can get extra $5 added to whatever you're trying to send to your loved ones or to this lady. Please, nothing is too small to give. Thank you so much, everyone. Also, if you're in the New Jersey area, come out and support your girl on Saturday, October 27th. I'll be giving an award in Irvington, New Jersey. Yay! In celebration of Nigeria's Independence Day. So I have the detail on my Instagram page. Some of you are not following me on Instagram. Like, what's that about? Like, for real, don't be an enemy of progress. I'm always taking selfies and stuff, uploading videos and stuff for people on Instagram. Follow your girl on Instagram. So if you can come, it would be really nice to see you guys. You can contact the organizers of the event to buy tickets, or you can just buy at the gate. And I'm really grateful that they want to give me an award. I'm like, what? what have I done? Anyway, lastly, I told you guys that I will be in Australia at the beginning of next month. So come out on the 4th of November. It's a Sunday to hang out with your girl. This is where I would be. It was from 12 to 2, but now they said it's 1 to 2. So this is where I will be. It's just 1 hour. So come out so we can hang out. And of course, on November 1st, I will be speaking at the CHESA inaugural lecture. And on November 5th, I will also be speaking at the University of Sydney. All right, y'all, it's been real, and I'm keeping it real right up in here. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. We just talked about Instagram. And if you're yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please press the subscribe button. We must get to 200,000 by fire by force. Until next week, I will see y'all later. Peace out.